104-101, Los Angeles to take the 3-1 series lead. We welcome you inside Warriors wrap-up here on 95.7 The Game. John Dickinson in Los Angeles at Crypto.com Arena, where the Warriors are up against it, on the brink of elimination, trailing this best-of-7 series 3-1 now, with Game 5 to be played back in San Francisco on Wednesday. And a lot to get into in what was a brutal fourth quarter and really an even worse final couple of minutes for the Warriors. You got Steph Curry doing everything he can possibly do with his third career playoff triple-double in this game, except shoot the three ball well. Steph finishes with 31 points, 14 assists, 10 rebounds. Again, the third career playoff triple-double for Steph, but he was 3 of 14 from three. Warriors 12 of 41 overall from three. And so Steph, a couple of bad shots, maybe late for him, but he's the least of the Warriors' problems. In fact, again, he tried to put this team on his back to the best of his ability all night long. The Warriors made the lineup change with Gary Payton II going into the starting lineup. That worked, but the Warriors get nothing. I mean, literally a zero from Jordan Poole, deemed unplayable. In the second half, Steve Kerr gave him about a minute and a half, 2-minute run. He turned the ball over. There was a timeout, and that was it. Quick hook, Jordan Poole, done for the night. And by the end of this one, the Warriors basically had 6 players they trusted between Steph, Clay, who wasn't giving him much, Draymond Green, Andrew Wiggins, Gary Payton II, and then Moses Moody, who gets a nod for sure in this one, who ended up playing 19 minutes and scoring 7 points. But you got Curry with a couple of forces late, but trying to carry the team on his back to a 2-2 tie in this series. You got Klay Thompson, who hasn't been able to make a shot in either of the games here in Los Angeles after a couple in the early going of Game 3. Couple of bad shots for him. Draymond Green gets in the air with nowhere to go, looking to hit the corner. Well-defended play by Anthony Davis. You do have to give credit to the Lakers in this victory as well. Anthony Davis with a couple of tremendous defensive plays late. He went one-on-one with Steph Curry and didn't get beat off the dribble, forcing a Curry jumper miss late in this one. And then the Warriors able to get an offensive rebound, and Curry took the home run ball 3. That one of the bad shots there, as the Warriors found themselves having to foul. And the Lakers go on to win it 104-101. So 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. Oh, did I mention Lonnie Walker the fourth? I haven't mentioned Lonnie Walker the fourth yet. I probably should, because he scored 15 points in the fourth quarter, gave the Lakers a big-time infusion, and they needed it because the Warriors' defense, for the most part in this game, was up to the task, but as has been the case in this series, when the Warriors have gotten beat, the offense just hasn't been there at the level consistently that the Warriors need if they're going to win this series. And the Lakers again win a game in this series where they make 6 3-pointers. And, that's not their forte. We talked about the fact that the 21 3-pointers made was not going to continue for the Warriors after the first couple of games. And now the Warriors find themselves having to gather and show some fight and show an ability to want to try and give themselves an opportunity to get back in this building on Friday by winning in downtown San Francisco on Wednesday to make this a 3-2 series lead. So 888-957-9570, just so many different things to get into tonight, but just a disappointing offensive games from just about everybody. I mean, not named Stephen Curry. Andrew Wiggins had 17 points in this one. Gary Payton II, that move worked. I mean, we talked all day about what's the move, go small. The Warriors were running a lot of pick and roll early, and Curry was just dissecting the Laker defense. Warriors are getting layups and dunks. They're getting all the open looks they want from deep, although, again, not making enough of those three-pointers from deep. But as has been the Warriors' problem so often, in particular on the road this season, anytime the Warriors start to build a little bit of momentum, they immediately give it back. In the third quarter, Warriors get a 57-49 lead, and it's a 10-0 run for the Lakers just like that. It's a miss. It's a turnover. the Lakers get downhill a little bit, and the Warriors waste all their hard work in a blink. And then the Warriors able to answer with an 11-0 run. Andrew Wiggins made it a 10-point game there, middle of the third quarter. But the Warriors have just not been able to withstand success as much as they've had a lot of disappointment and failure at different points in this series. And again, not maybe making the most of opportunities when they have played well, allowing the Lakers to get back in the game, and then it sets up the Lakers' ability to make that run late, and Lonnie Walker the fourth got it going, and before you knew it, right there at the top of the fourth quarter, game was tied at 84. The Warriors turn it over, another layup leads to the Lakers getting a 2-point lead, and then Steph hitting a pull-up. Steph had the 4-point play in the fourth quarter, but just not enough offense down the stretch for the Warriors to be able to prevail in this one. A lot of people that want to chime in on the phone lines and the text message as well. Comcast Business text line is open, and the Warriors going to have to show some fight. Going to have to show some fight on Wednesday night and show a belief that they feel that they can get this series back here. It's not as crazy as you think to come back from 3-1 when you're the team that has 2 of those 3 games potentially on your home floor. You get Game 5, you come back, obviously Game 6, if you get Game 5, is going to be the bullet that you're really going to have to dodge back down here in Southern California, where the Warriors just offensively haven't had it in either of these games. But you get that one, and then Game 7 almost becomes the easier game at that point, but you got to fight and scratch and claw and get yourself back to a point where that game even matters. All right, let's get to the phones. 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570 as the Lakers come back and beat the Warriors tonight 104-101. Let's get it rolling with Lex here up first in North Carolina. What's going on tonight, Lex? You're on Warriors Wrap-Up. Tip-off caller here on a tough night for Warrior fans as they now trail 3-1. What's going on, Lex?
Yes, sir. What's going on, JD?
What's going on, man? Rough night, rough finish.
Man, this was a rough one, man. Oh, my God. I'm just so down in the dumps about this game. I feel like we really needed this one. 90% of teams don't come back from 3-1. I understand what you're saying, but with the size disadvantage and everything, it's just horrible. The Warriors made 3 of the most boneheaded plays I ever seen in my life, back to back. I just can't believe it. I mean, I don't understand why Steph Curry didn't just drive past AD. Why would you sit there and one mixtape in his face to put a step back 3 when we had time to go? Draymond threw the ball away. Oh my God, man, it's just a lot, man. I'm gonna just keep faith that we can, maybe bring it back. Like you said, we played good at home, probably the best home team in the league. Maybe we can bring it back, but it's looking rough. It's looking rough, JD. So I'll let you get back to it, man. Thanks for taking my call. Dub Nation. I don't know, man. Peace out.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the call. And look, it's one step at a time. I mean, the first step moving forward is you got to have the belief that you're just going to win one game. And it's one home game. And the Lakers showed in their last series, up 3-1 going back to Memphis, that you can get them down and they'll basically set their sights on the next game back down here to try and close it out there. I do agree with you, Lex, that this feels like a major missed opportunity given the fact that the Warriors' adjustments, that Stephen Curry had the wink and the smile and the nod as far as his ability to be more aggressive, his ability to attack the Lakers, his ability to create for himself and for others, that the Warriors knew what they had to do. Gary Payton II going into the starting lineup, that was the right move. It worked. The Warriors' ball movement and pick and roll and cutting, Payton is a terrific cutter. He was able to cut and get a lot of easy buckets to the tune of 15 points. Like, that part worked. But Curry did his thing but couldn't make a 3 in this one. Nobody really could make a 3 for the Warriors other than Dante DiVincenzo, who was 2 for 4 basically, but they just did not have enough good players tonight collectively. I mean, it's just you got to have 5 out there, and at times it felt like the Warriors only had 6-7 players that they trusted between Payton and Moody, and Moses Moody proved himself to be more of a two-way player than Payton, who got subbed out early in the fourth quarter, and then Moody wound up basically finishing the game with the other starters, because I think Steve Kerr felt he needed somebody out there that wasn't going to be afraid to take an open shot from the perimeter if he was dared to take an open shot from the perimeter. Payton got himself pulled when he passed up a wing three, and I think Steve Kerr thought, hey, the Lakers are just going to start daring him to take those, and I know Payton did hit one earlier in the game, but I think he wanted some offense, and then Moody played well enough to try to just finish it at that point with Moody. But then you could make the case, once Lonnie Walker got going, maybe you needed Payton to be back on the floor to go up against Lonnie Walker, who proved to be a difference maker and somebody that didn't even have a field goal attempt in the first three quarters, but ends up finishing this game with 15 points, all in the fourth quarter. And he did it on 6 of 9. I mean, the Lakers looked gassed, tired, searching for any kind of offensive momentum, and Lonnie Walker provided it for them in that fourth quarter to the tune of 15 points and pull-up jumpers, and really kind of crazy when you think of how the Warriors haven't been able to get anything really from Jordan Poole outside of the 6 3-pointers that he made in game one in this series, and the fact that he gets pulled and you've got Lonnie Walker, and the bench advantage goes to the Lakers based on his fourth quarter with the 15 points. All right, let's get back to the phones, 888-957-9570, as we got a lot of people that want to talk. Frank in San Rafael next here on Warriors Wrap-Up on 95.7 The Game. What's going on, Frank?
Oh, not much. I just wanted to say, I love the Warriors, and I don't understand why Jordan Poole, he continued to play that guy. And I'm not trying to be mean or nothing, but every time that guy came in, our lead evaporated. He fouled somebody, he kicks the ball out of bounds. I mean, you just handed it away the series because he would play Poole. And it doesn't make any sense. I mean, I'm not trying to judge Curry's the greatest coach, one of the greatest. But why would you play Poole? The guy ruined game one. He's ruined the whole series. He's overpaid. He needs to go to win another world championship.
All right, thanks, Frank. Appreciate the call. Well, he only played 11 minutes. And, we've had this conversation at different points in the playoffs about, somebody making themselves unplayable and how you can make yourself unplayable even in short minutes. Well, Jordan Poole did that. I mean, he was on the floor in the second half for about a minute and a half, and Steve Kerr yanked him out of the game after he had one turnover right away. The Warriors don't have right now enough capable players to not at least give Jordan Poole some chance or to give Dante DiVincenzo some chance. You can't literally only play 5-6 players for the entire game. You can play 5-6 players for maybe the last 18, 19 minutes of a game, and Steve Kerr pretty much did that. I mean, the main four went the entire fourth quarter. Curry, Thompson, Draymond, and Wiggins, they went the entire fourth quarter. Payton played the first couple of minutes, and then it was Moody, and it was Moody because Poole stunk and was unplayable. You're not going to play Looney with Draymond, even though Looney did make a positive impact in small minutes. DiVincenzo, better game for him in 15 minutes, did knock down some shot. He got some layups, but I mean, you look at it, and you had to give Poole an opportunity, but he was that bad tonight in 11 minutes, and he deserved to get benched. But you look at it, you can't just say you're not going to play him for the remainder of the series here. You got to get more out of him, if anything, if you're going to have a chance to come back in the series. But there's no doubt he was awful in the game tonight. But let's not, Klay Thompson offensively was awful tonight as well. Let's not absolve that. He took some really bad shots. He took some I ain't sacrificing bleep type of shots in this game. And, you look up and it was only 3 of 11, but he took some really bad ones and ends up with 9 points. And it's just tough. I mean, with the way the Lakers are defending the Warriors and the way Steph Curry attempted to handle it, there are going to be good looks for others, and they have to be knocked down. And Klay Thompson didn't knock him down when he got the opportunity in this game tonight. All right, 888-957-9570. Daniel in San Ramon next here on Warriors Wrap Up. What's going on, Daniel?
Hey, what's going on? Just a few things. I think because AD LeBron played so many minutes, I honestly think when we go back to Chase Center, we're going to take that game. I think for us as fans, I think we're going to have that game. We need to really focus on that game when we go back to L.A. And again, with the Lakers, if it wasn't for Lonnie Walker, we're winning that game. Somebody from the Warriors bench needs to step up. And I don't know who it is. And I understand. I'm not putting all the blame on Kerr because I understand he has to make adjustments, but it's really hard to make adjustments when you have AD there. People are complaining about Jordan Poole, but he has to play, like you said. You can't put all the minutes on 5 or 6 guys. You have to spread out some of those minutes. And so, but I think we're going to take the next game. I think it's really that game when we go back to L.A., somebody needs to step up, and we need to win that game. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you can do is step one, show that you have a desire to win that one game at home on Wednesday night to bring it back here, and then you go all in on that game. And if you figure out a way, and we've seen the Warriors, I mean, it was a long time ago, and it was a much younger core, but you've seen the Steph, Clay, Draymond core go in and pull one out of the hat, as they did in 2016 in Oklahoma City, and then you can come back and have a shot in a Game 7. It's not as crazy as it sounds to come back from 3-1 down, even though it's something that obviously doesn't happen with much regularity, but it starts with just one game. But the Warriors have to figure out how to get Klay Thompson going again. The Warriors made some adjustments that worked, but the thing that left the Warriors tonight is the same thing that's left the Warriors when they've struggled. It's just turnovers at bad times. It's bad shots, and it really is. I think the overarching theme for the Warriors this season has been the inability for them to understand in the moment that they're not quite as good as they were. They're still champions. They can still do great things. They can still win playoff series and play at the highest level, but they can't quite do it as consistently as they used to. And so they have to be more disciplined. They have to take better shots a higher percentage of the time than they used to, where they could get away with taking a lot of bad shots and having turnovers because they were so good that they were going to end up going on a run and making a bunch of shots to overcome it. And now that margin for error just isn't there for this team. When they get a 8-point lead, they still got to play the same way that they played to build that lead. They can't just all of a sudden relax and take 2 bad shots and all of a sudden it's a tie game. 2 bad shots and a turnover, all of a sudden you're in trouble. And we've seen that in the Sacramento series. We've seen that in this series. There just has to be an understanding. And I think it's these championship core players even have, and Klay Thompson's the one that comes to mind. It's just this thought that you can do it the way that you've always done it, that you can do it in that same fashion. And it's like, no, you need to protect the lead a little bit once you get it. And you need to make sure you don't give the Lakers life. Bad shots have given the Lakers life in this series, and the Lakers are able to go down and get to the free throw line or get easy buckets the other way, and then that gives them energy for a few more possessions, and it makes the Warriors attempt to build the lead back up even harder, and it takes more out of them. And so there's just been this lack of discipline, lack of understanding that they've got to be more buttoned up because they aren't quite as good. And that's something that I think has been a miss. But regardless, I mean, the Warriors have to figure out how they're going to get Klay Thompson going. They have to figure out how they're going to get Jordan Poole going, because you can play him 10 minutes or less if he doesn't have it. But the easiest possible path is to give him an opportunity. Is for him to play better and play like somebody that you want to have on the floor. All right, 888-957-9570. Dan, sophomore, Bobby, I'm coming to you next. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We're going to keep this thing rolling all the way until midnight as the Lakers rally. They beat the Warriors 104-101. Lakers lead the series 3-1, and you heard it right here on 95.7 The Game.
At West Credit Union, we're working towards a brighter financial future for both our members and our community, knowing that when you succeed, we all succeed. That starts with a solid financial foundation. As a credit union, we have no stockholders demanding profits. Our commitment is to our members. Experience the difference with our Money Market Max Bonus promotion, offering a cash incentive for letting us protect and grow your money. West Credit Union, working for you. Today, tomorrow, together. West Credit Union is insured by NCUA.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hey guys, this is Keenan Thompson. I have a problem with you. Yes, you. None of y'all told me that Auto Trader has millions of new and used cars that I can shop from home. I thought we were friends. I put smiles on your face, but I'm not smiling. No one told me that with Auto Trader, a dealer can deliver cars to my home or that I could shop by price on Auto Trader. No one. Consider this friendship that you just learned we had officially over. Finally, it's easy. Auto Trader.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Valvoline Advanced can help your engine get more miles. Right now, buy a 5-quart jug and get a free STP Extended Life Oil Filter. That's right, free. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need, when you need them, at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
The Goodman Eye Center is proud to sponsor the playoff run on 95.7 The Game. We finished the season off strong, and you could start the summer off strong with 20/20 vision from Goodman Eye Center. If you need wavefront LASIK, lens implants, or cataract surgery, Dr. Goodman of the Goodman Eye Center is the choice of champions. So, if you'd like to watch the game with crystal clear vision without glasses or contacts, log on to GoodmanEyeCenter.com for a free consultation. That's GoodmanEyeCenter.com.
Comcast Business Complete Connectivity checks all the boxes. With cyber threat security, the largest, fastest, reliable network for small business, and save up to 75% a year with Comcast Business Mobile. Get started for just $49 a month for 12 months when you add mobile. Plus, ask about an $800 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 5/21/23. Restrictions apply. Requires 2-year agreement, EcoBill, and AutoPay. New 100 megabits per second internet and security edge customers only. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Mobile savings compares pricing of top 3 carriers. Comcast Business internet required.
3 little words no parent wants to hear.
My tummy hurts.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times. Like in the middle of the morning rush, when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. Pepto Kids chewables provide fast relief for common stomach issues, turning those 3 words into these 3 words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for Pepto Kids chewables. Fast relief for little tummies. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Guys, fellas, men, do you want a better sex life? Roman has genuine medication that helps you achieve and maintain what you need to perform. Roman has discreet wipes that help you last 4 times longer in bed. Roman has testosterone testing and treatment. Treating low testosterone can help revive your sex drive. So men, what are you waiting for? For a better sex life, go to ro.co/bettersex. Do it today and get 20% off. That's ro.co/bettersex.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, trunk lids, license plate holders, and headlights. They've got lots of headlights. When you need parts, get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's gonna fit. eBay Motors, let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Whew, this feels good.
Why does he feel good? Because he has all the hot water he needs. Now you can catch the feels with a Navien tankless hot water heater. Imagine all the hot water you want for as long as you need. No wasting money and energy. No more cutting that shower short. Just hot water all the time, every time. So feel good. Woo! So good. With a Navien tankless hot water heater. Visit tanklessmadesimple.com to learn more.
Poole will attack over to DiVincenzo in the corner to Moody. He goes baseline, back up top to Dante. Pump fake, dribble drive, back to Moody in the corner, and it's good! 3-ball for Moses Moody. He and Dante with their own little two-man game going.
How great was that patience?
Now back to Warriors Wrap-Up on 95.7 The Game.
And Moses Moody played well for the Warriors in this one. He's had a good postseason, really going all the way back to Game 2 of the Sacramento series, making himself playable, making the most of an opportunity, and finding himself as one of 6 guys really Steve Kerr trusted when it was all said and done tonight. Not enough, though. Warriors lose to the Lakers, 104-101, back here inside Crypto.com Arena. John Dickinson will keep this thing rolling until midnight. We got a lot of people that want to talk on the phone lines. Lakers lead, again, 3-1 with Game 5 to be played back at Chase Center in San Francisco on Wednesday. 888-957-9570. Dan in Walnut Creek is up next here on Warriors Wrap-Up. What's going on tonight, Dan? What's on your mind?
Hey, JD, tough night tonight. Look, I heard a caller criticize Steph's shot selection in that final possession, and I can't blame Steph for those shots in that moment. I think he'd gotten no help from anyone all game. And the reality tonight is just that it was going to be on him to get a bucket there. And I think his reason for not driving there is just that he was gassed. He was in his 40th minute, and I think that's why they got away from that high pick and roll where they targeted AD a few times, and he just wasn't really able to get much separation there. So I don't really think that last possession is on Steph. I think this is just the culmination of having a really thin roster beyond 4 or so guys and not having anything close to, for example, Lonnie Walker Jr. that can surprise you in a good way coming off the bench every now and then. So I think it's really more of a structural problem that might be finally catching up with this team.
I think that's a fair point, Dan, and I think that's one we're going to get into if the Warriors wind up losing this series here over the course of the next week, and we turn our attention to how this team gets better moving forward for next year. I think that will be part of the autopsy if and when it comes to an end like that. Yeah, you can't put blame on Steph Curry. I mean, he was carrying the Warriors. They were running a lot of pick and roll. They were destroying AD in the pick and roll, especially in the first half. Gary Payton was getting layups off of all of the action and the space that was created by the way that Steph Curry was able to attack it. And you just look at it top to bottom, though, in the final couple of minutes. The Warriors took some bad shots. I didn't really have a problem with the Curry pull-up. I mean, I'm looking at the final couple of minutes here. I mean, the Warriors were down with a little under 2 to go. Clay took a quick left wing 3, which was a bad shot. Warriors were down 1. You had the one before that where Clay took what looked like a 30-footer with about 2 minutes left, and the Warriors were up by 1, had time left on the shot clock. I didn't have an issue with Curry when Davis stayed with him and didn't let him get completely by him. I didn't have a problem with Curry in the final 30 seconds. Davis one-on-one with him, basically, and Curry ended up took the pull-up 2 that rimmed in and out. The Warriors were able to get the ball back. The one that I had a problem with, if there was one, for Steph, was the one after the Warriors got it back. And with 20 seconds to go, he takes the step back with AD on him from basically 29, 30 feet at that point. And then that one winds up being a miss, and the Warriors end up having to foul there, and they end up down 3. That would be the only one. But, yeah, you're not blaming Steph Curry on a night like tonight. Although, again, he did everything except shoot the 3-ball well, which has been a prolonged story for him in this building, at least against the Lakers throughout the course of his career. But the 3 of 14 tonight, I think that's one where, Steph is probably going to think, man, if that's a 5 of 14, the Warriors are walking out of this building with a win, regardless of everything else that we're talking about that didn't go well for them in the game. And I agree with Dan, your point on fatigue. I think fatigue is why he may have settled for a couple of those shots, and I think fatigue was part of the reason why the Warriors didn't continue to run that pick and roll with the level of effectiveness that they had in the first half. And the Lakers did switch Davis onto Wiggins, and I think that could have been part of it as well. But you look at it, and the Warriors did, without a doubt, go away from it. But still, I think could say they got some good shots. But the story of the night is that they forced some shots at some inopportune moments, especially down the stretch, but really throughout the course of the game, just right when it looked like they were going to get control of the game. And they wind up losing this one by 3. All right, 888-957-9570. Sophomore and Pacifica next here on Warriors Wrap-Up. Hey, Sophomore.
Hey, JD. A couple of comments really about two people. So much to say. But first of all, like, JD, I have seen you put in the hours with this team these last few years, and you're speaking from a place now where you're not super fan and you're not a member of the team and you're not a critic. You just have deep knowledge of the team. And I really appreciate your commentary. And I know it's hard won. And I did not tell your screener that I was going to say that. So,
well, thank you.
But the thing that
I
really
appreciate
excites
that.
me is that I'm glad. I've seen you doing it, and I appreciate the results. And I think maybe, all of us out there should appreciate, at least, if not an individual, that the Warriors attract people who do the work and come up with good stuff at times like this when it's a little tough. And then the other thing I want to talk about is Jordan Poole. Like, I don't know what's going on with him. We may find out later that he has an injury or a personal situation or whatever, but it's almost biblical that there's this unaddressed, almost sin, with Draymond. And I think Draymond has done everything he can to make that good. I really think it's on the team. I don't think the team handled it well. Last year, when things were tough in the playoffs, we would have different people step up. There was more maybe of an open, door for people to do that. And I think it's just like the mood has just been tough this year. And when we really need JP, he's not there. And with the exception of Moody, and credit to him, there hasn't been a sense of openness and freedom. There's a lot of griping and a lot of complaining. And I think that's a symptom, not a cause of the problems. So I just want to point out this whole arc with Jordan Poole, at least up to this point, has been tough. I think the Warriors can win these next 3. If anyone ever can, it's them. But right now it's looking like the Steph show and not a lot of other people, and we need more than that if we're going to win this series and keep going. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Sophomore. I don't think the Jordan Poole thing right now is about the punch. And you're right. Maybe we find out that there's been some kind of injury that he's been dealing with. I think it's more about the role and him not playing well and then getting a majority of the blame when things don't go well. I think it's all of those things more than the punch. But I will say the punch has never really fully gone away because it comes up every single night when he doesn't play well and every single day the next day. And, the reason that it hasn't been able to be buried and dead and gone and in the past is because all year long the Warriors haven't been good enough to be able to say, hey, see, we've moved on from it. And I think that was the bet. And I said this to Steiny and Guru today. The bet that the Warriors made was that they were going to win enough to where their tact with Draymond would pay off. And everything would be good, and bygones would be bygones, and Poole will have a year like he did last year, and it'll all kind of be forgotten in the winning. And then they haven't won at any point this year at the level that they needed to help assuage everything. And so it's kind of compounded everything. And he's been awful and seemingly getting worse. I mean, it looked after game 1 like maybe he was going to shake off of this thing and put the Kings series in the rearview mirror, but he's been really bad these last couple of games, and it really, I think, started with the deep 3 that he took late in game 1. 888-957-9570. Let's keep it rolling. Leo in San Francisco next. Hey, Leo.
Hey, how you doing tonight? Thanks for hanging in there with us. The frustrating part about this, and I know Thompson and Curry are great players, and certainly, they carried the team over the years. But the frustration is, earlier in the game, Kerr's they called a timeout early and says, hey, let's stop the hero ball, right? And he's been trying to preach offensively, be patient, be disciplined. They got into the pick and roll. I disagree that they went away from the pick and roll because they were tired. I mean, the Lakers were tired too. They were when they were moving, there was good ball movement, good player movement. They were finding holes in that defense, getting layups, easy shots. But even Wiggins started resorting. He wasn't on tonight with the three, but he was kind of forcing his shots instead of attacking and hitting that pull-up jumper from mid-range. Maybe kind of see the ball go through the basket a little bit, get a little more confidence. But he settled for threes because they were giving him the threes. But, he could have stepped in a few feet and taken a better shot, especially since he wasn't working. And the thing with Thompson and Curry, being the veterans that they are, it kind of disappointed me because they kind of reverted back. I remember 2016 the finals, the last game when they lost to Cleveland. It kind of did the same thing. Took a lot of bad threes. I think Curry was, they both shot, under 30% from three. I think they were like low 20s or something. I think Curry was like 4 for 14 and Thompson was like 2 for 10 from three. They forced a lot of shots in, but you think over the years they've learned that, the hero ball doesn't really work all the time, especially with this team as they've gotten older. Their MO has always been player movement, ball movement, and getting great shots, doing it that way. And then the other thing I think people forget to talk about is the fact that, Curry was just terrible on defense tonight, and Thompson wasn't much better. So, I think the defensive side of the ball, it really hurts that Curry, and they picked on Curry the whole second half. They got him in that pick and roll, and Lonnie Walker ate him up alive. And even when Schroeder got on him a couple times, he just couldn't handle defensively, got in foul trouble. So, I'm not sure about Thursday night win more, but there's no way. I think pretty much this series is over. I don't think they're gonna win 3 in a row against this team. Not the way they've been playing, and it's not just the playoffs, but they've been playing this way all year.
No, they have been playing this way all year, and we'll see. I mean, every time it's looked like they've been done, they've been able to win a couple of games and save it. And obviously, this is going to have to be the ultimate of that. Now down 3-1 in the series, and yeah, you're right. I mean, that's a good point. The Lakers did pick on Curry. They did try to, I think, tire him out, which is something that you want to do. You want to at least make him work defensively to where you're hoping that in the fourth quarter he doesn't hit as many of the shots as the Warriors are going to need him to hit because he is a little bit worn down and tired. All right, 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. It is John Dickinson here on Warriors Wrap-Up on 95.7 The Game. Let's get to the secret sauce of the game before we continue on the phone lines. Why did the Warriors win or lose? It's brought to you by Proposition Chicken. This chicken goes 3 ways: fried, flipped, and fake. Now available in 9 Bay Area locations or online. You can order now at propositionchicken.com. And, yeah, I mean, tonight it's the fourth quarter. It's plain and simple. 27-17 Lakers in the fourth quarter, and it was the Lonnie Walker show in that quarter. 15 points for Lonnie Walker after not having a field goal attempt at any point in the first 3 quarters. He kills the Warriors down the stretch. The Warriors did get some good looks, but they forced too many bad shots in moments where the Warriors seemingly had control or needed a big bucket. And down the stretch, you could make a case. Steph took the one bad one after the offensive rebound when he had the pull-up miss in and out on Davis when they were going one-on-one. Clay had the 2 bad ones late, one from the left wing, the other one from deep on the right wing as well. And then you look at Draymond getting caught in the air and trying to throw the ball away, basically nowhere to go, getting caught in the air. And turning it over late. So that all part of your secret sauce of the game. Why did the Warriors win or lose right here on 95.7 The Game? We're going to go ahead and take a quick break here, Sterling, and we'll come back here. I know we got some people on the phone lines that want to talk, but we're going to pause here quickly, and we're going to come back. It's Warriors Wrap-Up. Lakers beat the Warriors 104-101 right here on 95.7 The Game.
At the Home Depot, our power tools are made for moms who do it all. Like the Ryobi 1 Plus 2 tool kit for just $139 that comes complete with a cordless drill and impact driver. So no matter if she's making improvements to her home or constructing a house for the birds in the backyard, she'll be equipped with tools that are as powerful as she is. Get Mom the Ryobi One Plus 18-volt power drill and impact driver kit for just $139 this Mother's Day, exclusively at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Navien tankless water heaters, the proven leader in condensing technology. Request a Navien because you deserve the best in endless hot water delivery. Learn about Navien's condensing tankless water heaters and find a Navien contractor at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Count on Navien.
I used to get frequent heartburn at night, so I made Prilosec OTC part of my morning routine.
One pill in the morning, 24 hours, zero heartburn with Prilosec OTC. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Who doesn't love shopping for a new car? It's so much fun. But shopping for financing, nobody likes to do. Luckily, First NorCal Credit Union can help. With rates, they've got low rates, 3.99% APR. And you could save big by skipping that dealer financing and apply the manufacturer rebate to your down payment. Visit firstnorcalcu.org to learn more. Must qualify for membership. Rates subject to change without notice. Loan subject to credit approval. 3.99 annual percentage rate based on 36-month term and 780 FICO score. 29.52 per $1,000 borrowed.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs that will significantly reduce the amount you owe if you qualify. Accredited Debt Relief has helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. For this free information, call 800-786-3400. That's 800-786-3400.
where I'm staying, obviously close enough to be able to get there. But yeah, they evacuated the building basically, and had somebody from security say, hey, everybody's got to go. I know Stephen Curry was at the podium, I guess, doing his post-game press conference when word came down, and the Warriors had received word that something was going on. And so the Warriors went to the bus, and they're on the way to the airport to head back to the Bay and gear up tomorrow for what will be a do-or-die Game 5 for them in San Francisco on Wednesday night. So 888-957-9570. Give you an opportunity to hear Steve Kerr. Great job by Sterling Bennett working through everything there in our studio so I could run back to the hotel here and continue with Warriors wrap-up on 95.7 The Game. All right, back to the phones we go here. Let's go to Al in Alameda. Actually, no, Armand in San Jose. Sorry, Armand in San Jose is the longest hold on the board and was next up here before we had to relocate. Armand, what's going on tonight, my man? How are you? Kind of a strange night, brother.
Hey, well, I missed. It's funny. Softball game got canceled. I got to see the second half, so I thought I was going to miss the whole game. Weird night, JD. I heard Steph missed some easy layups open that were makeable early in the first half. If that's so, that's costly. JD, I hate to do off-season talk so soon because, hey, the series ain't over. Just take this next game, play it one at a time. But there are some clear issues. I thought Draymond Green, after getting that rebound, you got the layup over a smaller Dennis Schroeder. Take the easy two, go up strong finish. Maybe you get a foul for an and one. We're up one, and you force the Lakers with how many other seconds to make the shot. It wasn't a situation where we had to kick it out for the three. Simply put, we have to get some damn front court scorers. I am so sick and tired of seeing our front court players not look at the basket, and they're right there. It is killing us. I think that hurts us more than the defense. Smart move putting GP2 in the starting lineup. I heard he vomited or something like that in mid-game. Hopefully he gets better. The real problem today was the offense. Where was Klay Thompson? It's like you've been saying, JD, this guy jacks up a lot of shots, and Steph Curry made some bad shot attempts. But at the end of the day, Klay Thompson is pretty much a shot jacker. You can't count on him to put great games together consecutively. You can barely count on him to do a couple of good games consecutively. Hopefully we bounce back for Game 5. I know Lonnie Walker got off. I was hoping GP2 would actually got back in the game, and you went with more defense instead of a two-way player like Moody, what Kerr was saying, because I think the defense is more important in that situation. But, at the end of the day, this was the game they had to have. It was there. They didn't take it. The turnovers, I don't know what the hell Draymond Green was doing at the end. And Dante DiVincenzo, I'm going to tell you something. I had a bad feeling about this game when we gave up a score and DiVincenzo just threw the ball where there were defenders right in front of Steph Curry, and they were able to get to. I'm like, how the hell do you be so lackadaisical in a playoff game to do something stupid like that? That's playground ball. And at the end of the day, we can sum up our season like this. We don't deserve to win the chip, JD. If we come back 3-1 and somehow stretch this thing out, okay, fine. We don't deserve it. Everything we've done this season, from the drama of knocking people out, having coming to Jesus means to tell Klay to stop shooting so much, at the end of the day, this team does not deserve to win nothing. And when you turn the ball over so mindlessly like they have, even in a playoff where your season is on the line, I can't respect what you do. And these are the veterans, by the way. This is not Kuminga. Wiseman don't play here no more. It's not Moody. This is a top three. And I've been saying this all along. Stop blaming everybody else and start giving them the heat they deserve. Draymond, put that on your podcast. I'm out.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it. Armand checking in from San Jose here with a lot on his mind. And yeah, I mean, if the Warriors don't win it, they will not have deserved it. Period. I mean, that's just point blank, end of story. And the playoffs in many ways have still been an extension of the regular season. The big conversation and talking point going into the Sacramento series even was, hey, the Warriors are going to be a different team. They're going to be a more buttoned up team. They're going to be closer to their championship selves than they've been in the regular season. And it really hasn't happened. They've had their moments, but they immediately got down 0-2 to the Kings. They battled back to take a 3-2 lead. It was an incredible Game 5 that put them up. And then right when they're about to take control of that series, a clunker in Game 6, and they have to go win it again in Game 7. This series, they get down immediately, 0-1. They bounce back. It looks like they figured some things out. Get blown out when it looked like they had Game 3 in some semblance of control, at least early. Obviously, nobody thought that game was in the bag at all, but they just wipe away a lot of their hard work in pretty short order and then have a hard time getting back to that level of play with the consistency that they did when they first were able to build some of these leads. And tonight it bit them. I'm with you on the Draymond, not going back up off of the offensive rebound. He kicks it back out to Curry, who took the deep three. Draymond looked like a guy that didn't feel confident enough in his ability to go up strong and maybe didn't want to get fouled and go to the free throw line in that particular situation. And we'll spare the offseason talk for when the offseason actually comes, whether it is here in the next couple of days or if the Warriors can push this thing into the next month. All right, 888-957-9570. Let's go to Al in Alameda next here on Warriors Wrap-Up on 95.7 The Game. Hey, Al.
Hey, it's Hi. Thank you for taking my call. It's hard to swallow this one here, but I'm not gonna go like we're out already. I'll be honest with you. I've seen this Warriors before. Okay, Game 1 should have been ours. Okay, and tonight should have been ours again. But then again, with the turnovers, Green and 15 seconds inbounding, all that. Gosh, this hurting with our turnovers. Okay, if we win at home the next game, okay, we won one game at Sacramento, or what was it, 1 or 2? If we still won over there and we come back home, we will get this game. That's my heart and thought right now. I'll be honest with you. I'm not gonna band out right now. Okay. Tonight, we could have this game. Curry and Clay, oh my God, they are not synced tonight. I mean, gosh, if they only scored 20 points, or if someone else could have helped out, we could have won this game. I'm so sorry. But I think Warriors, I'm leaning on them to get this one in and break the record. Thank you.
Yeah. Appreciate the call. It's one game at a time. And look, if anybody can do it, you're right. It would be the Warriors, but it's going to have to take a much better offensive output. And there's just too many players right now in the Warriors that aren't playing well enough. From Jordan Poole to Klay Thompson to others that have been ruled unplayable to this point. I thought it was interesting going back to Steve Kerr. We played the post-game press conference. Thought it was interesting. He finally seemed to acknowledge that the Lakers are the kind of team that plays with some gamesmanship, understanding how to generate calls. Said they flopped and were rewarded. Interesting stuff. Kerr maybe, if you're going to go that route, and I know I praised him and a lot of people praised him for taking the high road and not wanting to blame losses on officiating, and he stopped short of that certainly tonight. I mean, the Warriors needed to make some shots and again, take better care of their possessions when they had the game in control. But Kerr did lobby a little bit more than we've seen him lobby at this point, at least during his time with the Warriors, when obviously they've had a lot of things working in their direction on a positive front. All right, Josue in Fremont. What's up, Josue?
Hey, JD. Hope everyone's safe down there. Kudos to getting across the street or whatever to the hotel and keep the show going. Thanks for putting this on.
Yeah, no, thank you. It was a strange night. I hope everybody is safe for sure. But, yeah, I had the security guy come up where I was doing the show, and I guess everybody downstairs, I guess they stopped Curry's press conference in the middle of it and said, hey, they want to get everybody out of here. So, it sounds like everybody's safe, but it was something that'll throw you, Josue, in the middle of a show, no doubt about it. But yeah, it sounds like everybody's good so far.
Good, man. I'm happy to hear that. So I'm just going to give my take right now, and it's not just a fanatical, I'm going to ride or die take, but why I'm hopeful is this game in about the second quarter had a lot of the same feel as Game 3, where it was kind of hanging in the balance and where the wheels fell off in Game 3. We hung in there, and obviously Steph Curry was fantastic. And outside of a 15-point fourth quarter by a guy who didn't take a shot, the game was close. It was right there. It was right there for us. And so, I just think, it could have gone our way. So if we just obviously, the Lakers came and, they stole Game 1, and I think that's the one they won outright despite our 14-0 run in the fourth quarter. But if we can come home and take care of home court in Game 5 and then, steal one in Game 6, anything can happen, and that's my take.
Yeah, thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it. I mean, that's all they got to do. It's one game at a time, and if everything, you win that one, then all the pressure's on the Lakers. I mean, that's the bottom line. All the pressure's on the Lakers to close out Game 6, back down here, and avoid the Game 7. And if you get to Game 7, then you're back at home and you can ride momentum at that point. I know momentum doesn't exist in a lot of these playoff series, but momentum would exist at that particular point. Comcast Business Text Line, couple to get to here before we go back to the callers. 510 JD, it's Bobby. My phone died. Explain to me how GP2 was 7 of 9 with a +3, but didn't play. Draymond and Wiggins got outplayed. The defense is not enough if you can't score a basket. Yeah, Wiggins didn't make enough open shots. He really didn't in this game. And you look up at the end of the night, and he was 6 of 14 and 2 of 6 from 3, and he had some good looks. It wasn't a terrible night from Wiggins, but shots that could have been borderline daggers in the midpoints of the game or in the fourth quarter were rimming in and out. And the Warriors opened the door a little bit with a couple of those misses for the Lakers. As far as Peyton, again, Peyton was playing well, and Peyton was getting his run, but Peyton turned down a 3, and then he went to Moody, and I think Steve Kerr liked the way Moody was playing down the stretch, and so he just stuck with Moody, who was more of a two-way threat, I think, or somebody that could at least take a three-point shot if the Lakers gave him an open three-point shot. I think Kerr saw Peyton pass up 1-3 right before he took him out, went to Moody. I thought it was just going to be for a couple of minutes, but there must have been something that the Warriors saw that they didn't like in how the Lakers were going to defend, and you would have at that point had to have had Peyton and Draymond Green out there at the end. I know the texter, I hope he's not saying Peyton should have played over Draymond or over Wiggins, because that's not something that obviously you would do. Steph and Clay and Wiggins and Draymond are going to be out there at the end of the game, and those guys are just going to have to get it done for the most part, pass or fail. All right, Shaka in Berkeley next here, 888-957-9570. Hey, Shaka, you're on Warriors Wrap Up.
Oh, man, I hope you're all right, JD. I heard you had to leave, man.
Yeah, man, it was kind of crazy when the security comes up and you're the only guy up in the top of the building, basically touching the ceiling, and they're like, "Yeah, we got to get everybody out." And I got cords and computers and screens and different things, everything, man. I'm like, okay, and he had that. Shaka, he had that, I said, "Hey, do you know what's going on?" And it was one of those things where it was like, I don't know if he didn't know or couldn't tell me. And that's one of those things that'll unnerve you a little bit.
Exactly. Hey, man, it's like what I was just saying the other day. Peyton goes 7 for 9. He disappears out the game. Okay? I mean, our coaching, we're always making excuses for everybody. Like the coaches are making excuses for the players. Draymond throws the ball away. He has an open lane to the basket. He throws the ball away. Walker gets the layup. It's a layup. He gets the rebound. And he's right by the basket. The guy's 6'2" on him. He's 6'7", 5 inches on him. He's right next to the basket. All you got to do is go up. Steph has 20 seconds left. He shoots his early shot. He could have wound the clock all the way down. He's penetrating all day. Just like Coach said, we're going through the hero moment. Everybody's trying to be a hero. But one thing I do think we can win, I think against the 3-1 against Oklahoma City was much harder. I think we have more talent. We have more talent than the Lakers. I think we should be up 3-1. Truthfully, I think we should, without those lapses during the series, I think we should easily be up 3-1. I do believe we can win the next 3 because 2 of them is at home. We have one to win on the road. But we got to have the come to Jesus moment. Everybody needs to be accountable, coaches and the players. Everybody needs to be accountable. Clay getting out-hustled when Walker got the ball for the layup. DeVincenzo kept throwing the ball away. We're having a lot of moments where Wiggins not going to the hole. We need Wiggins to get to the basket. We know you can make that 17-footer, but we want to get you to the basket so you can use what you are, an athlete. And my last point, Jordan Poole. Okay, you have 4 turnovers. 4 turnovers. You don't make a basket, but my thing about him is you be a point guard. Penetrate, get in, pass the ball to the open man, and get us a basket. It's not about you just shoot. It's just a selfish brand of basketball, and I love the Warriors with all my heart, but we have no discipline. And I think, and hopefully we'll talk about this after the season, though, after we win the championship. But it needs to be something accountable. It needs to be a more level of accountability in the organization because everybody's doing what they want to do. Thank you, man.
All right, appreciate it, Shaka. Appreciate you checking in. And, yeah, I mean, look, I think there's going to be wholesale sweeping reviews done on everything here if the Warriors wind up going out. But even if they do end up extending this thing and making a run, and, yeah, Jordan Poole was brutal tonight. I mean, he, for all the talk about whether or not he was unplayable or not, and everybody had their own definition. Hell, I even said today when we're trying to search for who the starter is going to be, I said start him and let him get out there and try to open up the floor offensively, and Coach Kerr got that one right tonight. And I don't know what's going on as far as internally with Jordan Poole and whether or not he's ticked because he thinks he's getting too much of the blame. I mean, I don't even care what the hell that is at this point. Like, you got to play better. It's got to be better than 0-4 with 2 turnovers. And the last one, the one that finally got him yanked out of the game, was just a mindless turnover. And so I don't know if he's checked out. I know part of the story here with Poole, he was asked in the locker room to speak to the media. He declined to speak to the media. I guess Tim Kawakami, The Athletic, specifically had said, asked him if he wanted to talk, and he declined to talk, said he had nothing to say. And so, yeah, and Kawakami reporting that several reporters went up to talk to Poole, said he didn't want to talk, nothing to say, faced his locker as he sat, said it directly to him. And so he left to see if he'd talk to others, and I guess he did answer a few questions from reporters after that as well in the locker room. So that's the latest there. I know Kareth Burke, I think of NBC Sports Bay Area, had a little bit of an update with Poole as well from the locker room. So 888-957-9570. Let's keep it rolling here on the phones. Robin in the city is next. Hey, Robin. What's going on tonight?
Hey, JD, how are you? I haven't listened to all the comments from the fans. I just want to say this, that, basketball is a game of, competence, matchups, and runs. I think for the most part that the Warriors did a good job. I don't know if anyone's called in and blamed Kerr, but Kerr's strategy for making Anthony Davis come out in the pick and roll worked for most of the game. So if anybody's out there dogging Kerr, open your eyes up and look at some of the good things. And Curry's floor game and him actually directing from the point mostly, right, not drag, was also a very good move. But it's also a game of execution. And they simply did not execute. And it's for the first time, and I don't know if it's because of the personnel or the roster, I've seen them lose their composure in 2 different ways. They lost their composure in the last game, simply turning the ball over, and then when they got all the calls, they fell apart. Now, tonight, their composures, they felt rushed because Jordan Poole got crushed for taking that shot with 10 seconds left, right? Everybody crushed him. but no one's crushing Curry, and I get the difference, in terms of status and power. But he did the very same thing tonight, him and Clay. And that's something that you never see them really do, in particular when they're not shooting well. They didn't shoot the three ball well. So I felt like they lost their composure as best when it came to execution that I have never seen in the past before. So, that's all I'm saying. Sometimes you get beat and they didn't execute and they just lost the game. I don't like to come from blame. But here's the difference in this series and tonight, and you tell me if I'm wrong. It's the bench, not just Poole, but the bench. Lakers always have someone to come off that bench and score for them. The Phoenix Suns, JD, gave up all their depth. Their bench scored 30 points the other day. We don't have that. We didn't have it all year. So why does anybody magically think it's going to happen now? Peace out. I love you to death, JD. Bye-bye.
Appreciate it, Robin. Thank you. And the Lakers have had somebody different, really, in each of these games be able to come up and help them off the bench. And, yeah, tonight it was Lonnie Walker, and they kind of hunted Curry in the fourth quarter a little bit with Walker, who gave them some juice. I think it was it was a player that they could put in attack mode, and he hit some jumpers and got going when it looked like maybe the Lakers were going to be a little bit dead in the water there, but it has been somebody different. And the Lakers have just had more players contribute top to bottom in this series more consistently than the Warriors have to this point. I mean, that's just the reality of it, whether it's been Schroeder and Russell in games 1 and game 3, whether it was Walker in a game like tonight. Hachimura played well in the game that they lost, but hasn't really done much in some of these other games. Tonight was Austin Reeves, who had, for as poorly as he'd played in the rest of this series, Austin Reeves had 21 tonight and made 3 threes and was 7 of 15. You think the Warriors wouldn't have taken a 7 of 15 night from Klay Thompson? Warriors get a 7 of 15 night from Klay Thompson tonight, and they probably win this game by 8 to 10 points. And we're talking about 2-2 and back to chase, and the Warriors are in control and home court advantage and all of that. And so, the Lakers have had more players able to positively contribute in this series more consistently when the Warriors really haven't gotten a great game from Wiggins. Peyton helped them tonight. Klay Thompson has had one really good game. Steph's been incredible, but it just hasn't been enough. Moody helped the Warriors. But again, Moody helped the Warriors. He scored 7 points. It's not like Moody helped the Warriors scored 15 points. And I'm not coming down Moses Moody road. It's not his, it's not on him as a young player to have to score. He did, I think, his job absolutely to the best of his ability tonight. But the truth is the Lakers have had more playable players in this series and more players able to contribute in a positive light. All right, 888-957-9570. Sterling, I just want to make sure we're good to keep going here. Are we good to keep going here all the way to the top of the midnight hour, or do you need me to take a break? All right, we'll keep going. We're going to keep it going. We got the boot. We hope everybody's safe over there at Crypto.com Arena. I know there's been a lot of different reports about not really anything specifically as to what was going on, but if I've sounded a little bit thrown here over the last hour on Warriors Wrap-Up as we tried to dissect this one, just to kind of let everybody behind the curtain a little bit as to what was going on, there were some security staff and people who started running through the building and basically saying, hey, we need to evacuate the building. And so I was asked to pack up all the gear and, from my spot high atop the building up in the hockey press box and get out. And I'm fortunately close enough to the arena at the hotel where I'm staying so I can get back and do the remainder of the show. We played some sound, and I know others, writers, asked to leave or asked to at least congregate in a specific area of the building as well. So we hope everybody is safe here in downtown Los Angeles. 888-957-9570. Back to the phones. We will hear from Steph Curry coming up here between now and midnight. And, yeah, I mean, this all went down, I guess, right in the middle of his post-game press conference, which abruptly ended, and the Warriors were told, hey, pack it up and head to the airport as well. All right, updated calls here. Let's go to Oscar as the longest hold on the board. Hey, Oscar, you're on Warriors Wrap-Up.
Hi, good evening, JD.
What's going on, man?
Yeah, I think it's not yet over for the Warriors. They do have the home court advantage. Just gotta win Game 5, and then Game 6 should be a toss-up. And if we survive Game 6, I think Warriors can extend the season.
That's it. I mean, that's the name of the game. And thanks, Oscar. I mean, it's go home and get one. And we saw in the last series, we've had a couple people pointed out in the Comcast Business text line, the Lakers, half effort. They played a lot of their guys heavy minutes. They went for this one. LeBron and Anthony Davis played 43, quick turnaround. Now Steph played 42 and Clay played 41 and Wiggins 39, Draymond 37. So fatigue is going to be an impact on the Warriors side of things, but it's go home and get one. And then you're basically playing this same game over again on Friday night, only you have to win it and you have to get more of an offensive flow together for this squad to be able to win it. But that's what it is. At that point, it feels like it boils down to one game where you get Game 5, you come back here, you survive that, and then, I mean, what a party Sunday afternoon would be at Chase Center for Game 7 after the Warriors are able to come back, if they're able to come back and even this thing up. So, like I've said a few different times tonight, and I know this will be a big part of the conversation tomorrow and in the lead up to Game 5 on Wednesday, it's not over. It isn't. I know it looks bleak right now, and the Warriors have to figure out ways to get others playing better, and they have to figure out ways to lengthen their rotation, I think, a little bit. But it only takes one, and the entire momentum of a series can flip, and all the pressure goes to the Lakers. And then if you can win Game 6, look out at that point in time. And somebody on the text line said, hey, still alive, 510, still alive to be the first 7-7-7-7 team as far as teams to play 28 out of a possible 28. That actually has not happened going back to 2003 when they implemented the best-of-7 series for all 4 rounds. There has not been a team that has done that yet. All right, let's go to Ian in Santa Rosa next here. What's going on, Ian?
Hey, guys. I know we're down 3-1, but, we've been here before with OKC. Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook were playing at their all-time highs. Or maybe not Durant, but definitely Westbrook at his all-time high back then. And we've been here before, and I think Warriors fans, even if we go down next game, should appreciate the fact that we've got 4 titles, in the last 10 years. Come on now. I'm a 25-year-old guy. I remember when I first started rooting for the Warriors, it was the We Believe era, and I never thought we'd get to this point. So just be thankful, appreciate LeBron and his greatness. He is magnificent. If we lose to the greatest scorer of all time, so be it, man. We got a dynasty here, and if we lose, so be it, but I don't think we will. I think we will come back from 3-1, and I think we get this game at home. We go to the Lakers. It's now called Crypto Arena. I always remember it as Staples Center. And then we win that game. We come back home, and it's going to be a great game. I think we close it out because we have that experience. Thank you for taking my call.
Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thanks for calling in here, 888-957-9570. I know Steve Kerr talked about it when they went down 0-2, and I've reiterated it a couple of different times. One game can flip it. And the Warriors flipped that Sacramento series. They won Game 3, and all of a sudden they survived Game 4. They went to Sacramento, won Game 5. This Lakers team, obviously with LeBron and Anthony Davis, it's a much different dynamic. You got champions among their best 2 players as well, and multi-time champions in LeBron. And you're right, one of the greatest of all time. But I think Warriors can point to enough things that they've done well to where if they can get some other things unlocked, they still can have enough to flip this thing and win the big moments and ultimately take the series. All right, Coach Duran, Union City, next here on Warriors Wrap-Up. Hey, Coach.
Hey, JD, what's up, man? Hey, I just want to say, Warriors came, we barely fell short today. This was a legit and spectacular playoff game, guns blazing. We went all out. We're not done yet. One game at a time. Hopefully we could take this one at Chase. We'll come back to L.A. We're going to go all the way. Dub's got to come through with some fire. We need some power, and hopefully Steph and Clay can splash next game at Chase.
Appreciate it. Yeah, they have to figure out a way to make some shots. I mean, we talked about after the first two games that it probably wasn't going to continue at the level that it did with the 21 3-point makes, and it hasn't continued on the road. And I know Steph and Clay have had some different shooting numbers in their games at Crypto or Staples over the years. It has not been the best, especially for Steph, building for him to shoot in. But the Warriors, are going to have to try to figure out a way to be able to overcome it. All right, still time for some more phone calls. 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. As Warriors Wrap-Up rolls on here on 95.7 The Game. The Lakers beat the Warriors 104-101, 27-17 in the fourth quarter, and it was Curry all by himself throughout the night. Tonight, the last 2 minutes, Warriors just some bad shots. Draymond getting in the air with nowhere to throw the ball to. Just a lack of discipline, focus, and really shot making. Because when the Warriors have had the discipline and focus, there hasn't been enough of the shot making. Jordan Poole, a complete zero, literally, and got himself benched. Didn't want to talk to the media post game, and that's something now that becomes a bigger focal point. And I know we're not doing the end of the season show tonight because the season isn't over tonight, but as I often say, how things end matters. And if this Warriors team does wind up going out and they go out and it's as ugly as it's been here for Jordan Poole in these last two rounds, I mean, I think you could make the case that he maybe is playing his last couple of games with the Golden State Warriors. And I know others have talked about change of scenery, and I think that's fair. But it's also a matter of how do you get better if you're the Warriors and you look to commit to Steph and Clay and Draymond for one more go of it, or that Steph, because he's still playing at the level that he's playing at, is worth trying to cobble together one more go of it. And if you're looking at that, then you start to have to look at, all right, well, what young players even have value to be able to trade to try and bring other players back. And, then you start factoring in, though, and this is something I don't think the Warriors thought they were going to be talking about at this point last year, which is, hey, that $30 million average per year in terms of dollars that's going to be kicking in. I think the Warriors thought they were going to be fine on that. I think where the Warriors may be a little, in a little bit of a tough area now is there could be a lot of teams that maybe would have wanted Jordan Poole at that money even, that maybe don't want Jordan Poole at that money level even, or you have to attach something to Jordan Poole, and then at that point, even if they want to look to move him, it may be a scenario where they can't necessarily move him because you got to have somebody willing to be a trade partner with you that's going to give you something of value back. And so, again, not to get too far down the road, we're talking about Game 4, but, this thing being on the brink for the Warriors, I think, those are some of the subplots there toward the back end. All right, Jim in San Francisco next here as we keep it rolling on the phones at 888-957-9570. Hey, Jim.
A lot of negativity I'm hearing. You guys are giving up already. But
who's giving up, Jim?
What works? Whatever's working, and they change it up.
All right, Jim, your phone's not working. That's one thing I'll tell you. Your phone's not working. The pick and roll is the one thing that I do think is going to be worth pointing out the Warriors were dissecting the Lakers with pick and roll. And I'm going to be interested to see tomorrow after the film is watched and the questions are asked again, about going away from the pick and roll. And, the Warriors, again, they were getting whatever they wanted. It was Steph. They were able to draw Anthony Davis out again. It was Steph attacking more. They were getting Gary Payton on cuts. They were getting Davis in the action, and they were really making life difficult on Anthony Davis. And then they did go away from it. They did go away from it in the second half. And part of it was Anthony Davis moved to Wiggins. And, Peyton really set the tone, I thought, with some good screens early. And he was the roller, and he was getting buckets. And so that's going to be, I think, one of the things when you start saying, all right, well, what was working, what wasn't working, that was working. And, can the Warriors go back to it? Are the Lakers going to try to close the gap there? Was the Davis to Wiggins thing, a matchup where, they thought that was something that they could continue to do to prevent the Warriors from getting off in the way that they wanted to get off. All of that's part of the deal and the adjustments here. But the Warriors found some things that clicked. They didn't stick with them. And then they also did some things that were not so great that we've seen them do a lot this year, whether it was inopportune turnovers with respect to the timing and or just quick, bad shots. I mean, quick, bad shots, I think, have been the bane of the Warriors' existence this season when they've lost. Just too many times. And part of it is, I think, your greatest strength is your greatest weakness. And the Warriors' greatest strength over this decade has been their ability with two of the greatest shooters of all time, maybe the two greatest shooters of all time, and their ability to make bad shots. Probably the best two bad shot makers in the history of the NBA in Steph and Clay. And those shots are just not quite going in at the same level. And the Warriors they keep taking them because they're great shot makers that refuse to adapt even a little bit in an attempt to roll with. And again, it's what's gotten them to this point. And so eventually maybe it becomes the thing that does you in. All right, Corey in San Francisco, back to the phones here on Warriors Wrap Up. Hey, Corey.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. What do you got?
I was curious about, if anybody noticed, the weird energy amongst them. The continuity just seems lost, and it's different than it used to be, and how, maybe the lack of energy or cohesive nature that, helped them in the past, I feel, might be a contributing factor to, their confidence and their, hustle. You know what I'm saying? It seems like some guys just, on offense, they just stand there. Nobody's moving without the ball. Nobody's trying to create. Yeah, I mean, that's just my opinion, but I was curious what you thought.
Yeah. No, thanks for the call. Look, when the Warriors lose and they don't play well, the vibe does appear as if the whole thing's about to just come apart at the seams. The vibe is that they're hanging on by a thread. The vibe when they've lost this year, especially on the road, has been they look like a team that doesn't like each other. That's just the reality of how it's looked. And so, they've been able to fight back in a lot of these games after that. But I think, it goes to what we were talking about earlier in the crypto.com arena portion of the show, where a lot of these internal issues and the questions about the joy and whether they like each other and the disconnect between young and old have continually popped up. It's because the Warriors haven't won consistently enough this year to put those issues to bed. So with every handful of losses or frustrating defeats, the issues keep coming back to the surface. And it's something that, we may look back on and say, well, they never fully addressed some of those issues when they should have earlier in the season, and they tried to roll the dice and ride it out and bet that they would be able to win enough to not have to deal with it, and it never really happened. But, they've just there's been a lot going on for this team this season, from Poole and Draymond right off the top to Klay Thompson's defiance. Klay Thompson's defiance is, does anybody want to tell me Klay Thompson's still the same Klay Thompson that he was 4 years ago, 5 years ago? I mean, and again, it doesn't even matter, but the reason I bring it up is this. It's because every time Klay Thompson has a good game, it's almost as if Klay Thompson wants to figuratively stand on the scoreboard and yell, to everyone that's ever questioned the fact that he's had a bad game when he's had a bad game, or questioned his shot selection. Like, every time he has a good game, it's almost like a bleep you to everybody that ever acknowledged the fact that he's had a few more bad games than he used to have. And there's just a weight and edge and anger to his game, I think, this season. Andrew Wiggins took a 2-month leave of absence from the team. That's different. Everybody supported him. But it still, that changes the dynamics, I think, a little bit. And as far as others who thought they were going to have bigger roles, who at times did have bigger roles, DiVincenzo, Kuminga, Moody, I think, came in thinking he was probably going to have a much bigger role than he's had, and he's stuck with it and been a pro and helped this team when he got tapped on the shoulder in the playoffs, which is something that I think is extremely commendable. The fact that Moses Moody's kept himself ready and played as well as he has given these circumstances. Moses Moody's played better in April and May than he played when he got opportunities in November and December. That's remarkable for a young player to be able to do that, and a major credit to Moody. Now, it doesn't revise history to where you say he should have been playing more earlier, because he didn't play well when he got those opportunities to play earlier. Kuminga probably believes he deserves more time than he's gotten. So all of these things kind of fester and build up. All right, Corey is going to be our last call, and then we'll hear some Steph Curry. Hey, Corey. Oh, we lost Corey. All right, we'll call it a night on the calls then. Let's go ahead and hear Steph Curry's post-game press conference as it took place in Crypto Arena before they told everybody to get out of there. Here's Steph.
Steph, where do you feel like the game turned tonight?
You said what?
Where do you feel like the game turned tonight?
Lonnie hit some big shots for him when they were kind of searching a little bit. We had good looks that didn't go in, and we fought down all the way to the last second in terms of trying to give ourselves a chance to steal a win. And they, fourth quarter, we only scored 17 points, and that's a tough way to finish. Had to look at, I always say you got to look at the film to see exactly where defensively they made adjustments, but we had a lot of good looks that we have a lot of confidence in the shots we're taking, and got to live with it.
Steph, obviously you've had many, rough shooting nights here against the Lakers. How did the shots feel, though? You felt like every other part of your game was in good rhythm. Did the three-point shot feel like it was in rhythm, too?
For sure. Like I said, I got a lot of confidence in my ability to knock down shots, especially volume, and a lot of them were back rim, which for me means you got good legs, good lift. Just didn't go down. Obviously, we ran on a lot of pick and rolls, so I had the ball in my hands a lot, which I'm very comfortable with those looks. Just trying to make reads, whether it's a shot for me or trying to create, but I'm rocking with them.
The last, session, the two shots you had against AD, what were the looks you were trying to go for, and did you think the three was good when it left your hands?
Absolutely. The first one was, they switched, and you kind of can see the second layer of defense, obviously knowing he's 7 foot and got, crazy, reach, so you just want to create a little bit of separation. The first one, nice little step back, it was in and out, it felt good. Second one, was a little rush, but a shot that I took it because I thought I could make it. So, like I said, I'm living with those, and hopefully we can put ourselves in a position where in Game 5 we and control momentum as much as possible down the stretch. And again, if those shots are there, you're going to take them again.
Steph, I don't know if those scratches on your face are new, but can you talk about the level of physicality that you were being defended with in that fourth quarter?
It was on both ends, and it's exactly how playoff basketball is supposed to be. They were trying to bring me in a lot of pick and rolls, especially with Bron. And then on the other end, just trying to send one body to you, and then on the second layer of defense, having somebody, waiting in the paint kind of vibe. But it's playoff basketball. It's what you love. It's what you live for. And, that level of intensity there's nothing like it. So you embrace it all, even the scratches.
Steph, the jump ball, you go up and get it. You go to the ground. Were you thinking anywhere timeout there, or did you think the clock was running out? Just give me your thought process there.
Yeah, I didn't realize how long much time it went off. I was in the air coming down, how long I was on the ground. I felt like somebody was behind me and kind of just let it go, but bang, bang play. I wish I had a little bit more awareness to maybe call a timeout knowing we had enough time, but it just didn't go our way.
Jordan Poole is obviously a really big part of last year's title run, and this postseason he's kind of just struggled with consistency and stuff. I mean, what you guys need him to be successful, so like what are you seeing from him, and maybe what's your message to him?
We get questions about him a lot, and it's our whole team. We're all together in the sense of trying to figure out how to win playoff games, and we all have to make adjustments. We all have to play better, considering we're in a 3-1 hole. So there's no sense of isolating him in this situation. It's all about collectively what can we all do to be better, and the conversations we have in film sessions and on the bench in the locker room are all consistent throughout the season, especially in this playoff run of trying to answer that question. So he's a part of that. We're all a part of that. And if we're going to get out of this hole, we all have to play better.
Hey, Steph, Draymond's got a player option for next season. Bob Myers' contract status is up in the air. Do you allow yourself to think about the big picture? No. Just a 3-1 series deficit?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
That's the last question, and we got to get out of here.
Steph, just wanted to ask you about Gary and what he was able, your thoughts of him going into the starting lineup and what was he able to bring?
He gave us a lot. I mean, to go from kind of out of the rotation to starting to, playing 23 minutes. We obviously got a little smaller, but we got faster, so he was able to give us some good looks in pick and roll. Obviously, defensively, we know what he can do, and offensively, slashing, cutting, making plays, finishing at the rim. Made a huge three in the second half, so it's a testament to how roles can change really quickly with our team, and just trying to stay ready, be ready for your moment. And he's gone through that with us last year, and now that he's been back, being able to understand where he can make an impact. So it's been huge, and it's a testament for everybody on our team, to stay ready. We say it a lot, and it continues to prove itself. So it's the challenge and the opportunity with how we do things.
All right, so Gary Payton II, he stayed ready, and he was a major contributor, and more of GP2 in Game 5 is definitely going to be a part of the Warriors' game plan. I think Moses Moody, as we've talked about a lot, can put himself in that category as somebody who's stayed ready and has played well when given the opportunity. The key, though, for the Warriors, and I know Steph trying to be a good leader, a lot of the focus on Jordan Poole, obviously, after these losses because he's played so poorly, but not wanting to single him out, which I think is admirable in trying to be a leader in that respect and put the focus on the team. But the Warriors have to figure out a way to get more out of Jordan Poole and get more out of Klay Thompson. I know there was the clip of Klay taking that left wing three late and Steve Kerr just hands on his head. Hands on his head. Like, why did you take that shot? I know Clay bristles at the notion of any discussion about his own shot selection because he's one of the greatest shooters of all time. But the reality is his bad shots have been game wreckers in a lot of games for the Warriors this year. And when he's not hitting, it really makes it a lot harder for the Warriors to overcome on those particular nights. And tonight was one of those nights where they did a lot of things well, but not nearly enough well consistently to get the wins. All right, that'll do it. We'll call it a night on that note. Everybody take a deep breath. We'll reconvene tomorrow, of course, all day long right here on 95.7 The Game, and we'll get you ready for Game 5. Warriors facing this 3-1 deficit. They have done it before. It helps that the next one is at home, where the Warriors have played so well. Everything can flip with one victory in a series, but then the Warriors, of course, are going to have to come back down here to Southern California and get one on Friday if they can get Wednesday. Thanks to Sterling Bennett. Thanks to everybody in our San Francisco studios. Really special thanks to everybody in the studio for keeping things rolling as we had to relocate and exit the building at Crypto.com Arena and head back to the hotel. So I appreciate everybody for hanging with it and getting back to the phone calls and all of that. I'll be joining Steiny and Guru in the 1 o'clock hour tomorrow. And then I'll be back with Warriors Live, 6 o'clock on Wednesday from Chase as the Warriors try to avoid elimination at the hands of the Lakers. Tip-off for that one at 7. We'll talk to you then. Lakers beat the Warriors in Game 4, 104-101, and you heard it all right here on 95.7 The Game. Good night.
Check out the secret sauce of the game after every Warriors game. The secret sauce of the game brought to you by Proposition Chicken. Fried, flipped, fake. This chicken goes 3 ways. Now available in 9 Bay Area locations.
Kelley Blue Book is the one-stop shop for pricing, fixing, selling, and instant cash offering. Instant cash offer is exactly what it sounds like. An official offer to buy or trade your car. Woo-hoo! Just enter your VIN or license plate. Answer a few questions about your car's history and what kind of condition it's in. In minutes, you'll receive an offer to sell or trade your car that you can be sure is fair. Then choose a dealer to purchase your car and schedule a time to meet. For all of the its, KBB.com.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome